B-R-O-K-E, broke?
Broke.
Like broke?
Like, no money.
No money.
Yeah.
Like net worth what?
Negative.
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 She has filed for bankruptcy. Appraisers are now taking stock of her personal possessions, her baby grand piano, her Gucci silverware, her Porsche and Lexus.
I couldn't believe it because I loved her so much. I admired her and looked up to her. And she pretty much reprimanded me. When the career thing happened for me, it was a bad thing. That Ellie and Babyface only wanted to sign me, it was a bad thing. Because I remember when I told my sisters, they were crying.
Oprah Winfrey, America's sweetheart or secret career killer. Toni Braxton's recent revelations have fans questioning everything they thought they knew about the talk show queen. Remember when Toni Braxton was on top of the world with her music? Then suddenly things went south. Now she's pointing fingers at an unexpected culprit, Oprah Winfrey. But what exactly happened during that infamous 1998 interview? Let's find out. Toni Braxton was the R&B queen of the 90s. Her soulful voice and hit songs like Unbreak My Heart made her a superstar. Everyone loved Toni, and it seemed like her career would only go up, but then things took a weird turn out of nowhere. Toni's image started to crumble. Fans were confused. What happened to their favorite singer? Well, it turns out that single TV appearance might have changed everything. And guess who was behind it? None other than Oprah Winfrey herself. Yep, you heard that right. Oprah, the queen of daytime TV, might have played a big part in Toni's downfall. So what exactly went down during that infamous 1998 interview? Well, it turns out Toni Braxton was going through some serious struggles at the time. She was drowning in debt, facing bankruptcy, and dealing with health issues that would later be diagnosed as microvascular angina and lupus. You'd think Oprah would be sympathetic, right? Wrong. Instead of offering support, Oprah went in hard on Toni. She accused her of being reckless with money and even called her out for buying luxury items.
Well, I didn't know Gucci made silverware. When you had Gucci silverware and baby grand pianos, and you're used to wearing $5,000 and $6,000 and $7,000 gowns at a time, and spending $500 on a pair of shoes.
Because I loved her so much. I admired her and looked up to her. And she pretty much reprimanded me.
I read that you were upset about stories that your overspending caused this.
She says to me, I hear you have Gucci flatware. I'm Oprah Winfrey and I don't have Gucci flatware.
First of all, I didn't know Gucci made silverware.
You ain't got Gucci flatware because you didn't want to buy it. It's not because you couldn't.
Talk about kicking someone when they're down. Toni was totally blindsided. She looked up to Oprah and expected some understanding. But nope, Oprah decided to tear her apart on national TV. Toni felt humiliated and betrayed. Done. She was so freaking mean to me. Imagine how crushing that must have been, especially coming from someone you admire. But it gets worse. Oprah didn't stop at just asking about fancy cutlery. She straight up asked Toni if she took responsibility for her bankruptcy.
She was so freaking mean to me.
Dollars on a pair of shoes. Do you take responsibility for the situation that you're in right now?
100%.
100%?
100%.
How did that happen?
Because I allowed all my finances to become everyone else's finances. That's pretty much how I got here. A lot of the, you wear the, like you said, the expensive dresses and the shoes and all that kind of stuff. But what was happening, I was financing personally with my career, the image that everyone sees. I was the one financing.
The thing is, Toni's money problems weren't as simple as Oprah made them seem. Later on, Toni revealed some shocking info about her record sales, and they weren't good at all. But Oprah didn't bother to dig into any of that. Instead, she just piled on the accusations and made Toni feel awful.
What do you mean? And immediately, she made me feel this big. That moment completely changed my career. It made people look down.
And you know what? It had a huge impact on Toni's career and reputation. After that interview, people started seeing Toni as this irresponsible spender who couldn't manage her money. It was a total PR nightmare. The public and media jumped on the bandwagon, assuming Toni's money troubles were all because of her lavish lifestyle. But that wasn't the real story at all. Toni found these accusations hurtful and unfounded. Why would Oprah want to bring Toni Braxton down? Well, buckle up, because we're about to dive into some seriously juicy details that'll make your jaw drop. Remember how Oprah grilled Toni about her spending habits? Well, it turns out there was way more to the story than fancy silverware and designer gowns. Toni was dealing with some major behind-the-scenes drama that Oprah conveniently ignored. How does a diva who sold over 70 million records worldwide end up filing for bankruptcy not once but twice. Let's talk about Toni's record contract. You'd think a superstar like her would be rolling in cash, right? Wrong. Despite making over $170 million in album sales during the 90s, guess how much Toni actually got in royalties? Brace yourself, it was a measly $1,972. Yes, you heard that right, less than $2,000 for all those platinum records. Toni herself spilled the tea on the shocking situation. She said, I sold more than 40 million records, yet my royalties were less than $2,000. Can you imagine how frustrating that must have been? But wait, there's more. Toni wasn't just dealing with an unfair contract, she was also battling some serious health issues that Oprah didn't bother to mention. Toni was diagnosed with microvascular angina, a heart condition that forced her to cancel shows and rack up even more debt. And if that wasn't enough, she later found out she had lupus too. These health problems weren't just scary, they were expensive. Toni had to undergo surgery and even cancel her Las Vegas show because of her lupus. She explained the Vegas show, I just renewed all my contracts with all my vendors, and then a month later I got sick. I couldn't work and could not afford to pay them back. So while Oprah was busy pointing fingers at Toni's supposed overspending, the real story was way more complicated. Toni was trapped in a contract that was practically stealing from her, all while fighting for her health and trying to keep her career afloat. But here's the million-dollar question. Why did Oprah ignore all of this? Was she just not aware of Toni's struggles? Or was there something else going on? Some fans are starting to wonder if Oprah had her own reasons for wanting to make Toni look bad. Think about it, Oprah was at the height of her career, known for her hard-hitting interviews. Maybe she saw Toni as a threat, a young, beautiful, talented star who was loved by millions. Could Oprah have been jealous? It's a wild theory, but it might explain why Oprah went so hard on Toni during that interview instead of offering support or digging into the real issues. Oprah chose to focus on the surface-level stuff that made Toni look irresponsible, as we've seen with Braxton. Oprah's treatment of celebrities on her show wasn't always as friendly as it seemed. But was this just a one-time thing, or part of a bigger pattern? Turns out Toni's experience might not be as unique as we thought. Let's talk about Monique. Remember when she won an Oscar for her role in Precious? Well, things took a turn when she refused to do free press for the movie. According to Monique, Oprah played a big part in what happened next. She claims Oprah spread rumors that she was hard to work with, which led to her being blackballed from Hollywood.
Till that woman says, let me apologize to you publicly, it'll be to the day I leave this earth, because what you did was malicious and it was intentional. And I never said my mother was coming on that show, because had Oprah Winfrey said, I'm gonna have your mother, I would have said, shut it down. I don't need the world seeing how greedy my mother is. Shut that down. That's one of the reasons why we don't communicate, because of my mother and father's group.
And it's not just Monique. Ludacris has his own story about appearing on Oprah's show. He went on to promote the movie Crash back in 2004. But instead of talking about the film, Oprah decided to criticize his music. Ludacris says Oprah even edited out his responses, making it look like he just sat there silently.
You can agree with my music, and even if you don't agree with certain songs I made, say you don't agree with certain songs, don't say you just don't agree with all of my music.
Right.
So it was a lot of comments that actually basically she was able to say what she said, and then I had my rebuttal, and when I saw the final show, her comments were in there.
Right, was in there, but yours wasn't in there.
And mine weren't in there, so it just looked like I kind of took it.
Wow.
Like it was just quiet. And then
People are starting to wonder if Oprah uses her power to bully those who don't play by her rules. These stories are making fans question everything they thought they knew about Oprah. Is she really the champion of underdogs? We've always believed her to be. Or is there more to the story? As more celebrities come forward with their experiences, it's clear that Oprah's legacy might not be as squeaky clean as we once thought. Some people are starting to question Oprah's connections outside of her TV show, and what they're finding is raising a lot of eyebrows. Let's talk about Harvey Weinstein. It turns out Oprah was pretty friendly with him back in the day, and that's not sitting well with a lot of people. Rose Won, an actress who's been really vocal about Hollywood's problems, had some strong words about Oprah's relationship with Weinstein. McQuan tweeted, I am glad more are seeing the ugly truth of Oprah. I wish she was real. But she isn't from being pals with Weinstein to abandoning and destroying Russell Simmons' victims. She is about supporting a sick power structure for personal gain. She is as fake as they come. But wait, there's more. Some people are also talking about Oprah's possible connection to Jeffrey Epstein. The musician Seal actually called Oprah out on this, saying her relationship with Epstein is still a big mystery now. It's important to note that Oprah has denied all these allegations. She even tweeted about it, saying, just got a phone call that my name is trending and being trolled for some awful fake thing. It's not true. Haven't been raided or arrested. Just sanitizing and self-distancing with the rest of the world. But here's the thing, people are starting to wonder about Oprah's true motives. Is she really the caring supper figure we've always thought she was? Or is there more going on behind the scenes? Some fans are pointing out that Oprah seems to have a pattern of supporting people who have done some pretty questionable things. They're asking if she's part of what they call a toxic power structure in Hollywood. That's a fancy way of saying she might be helping keep a bad system going. The more we dig into Oprah's controversial connections, the more questions we seem to have, and it's making a lot of people wonder if the Oprah we see on TV is really the whole story. We've seen how Oprah's actions affected T, and other celebs and fans are over it. They're saying, "I ain't been effing with Oprah since that Toni Braxton interview." Another said, "I ain't like Oprah since she invited Toni Braxton on her show just to embarrass her op filing bankruptcy. Nasty spirited woman. It's no coincidence. She's always connected to sick individuals and situations." Toni's career definitely took a major hit after that interview, and it might all be Oprah's fault. It's making us wonder about the power dynamics in Hollywood, who really holds the strings, and what happens when someone like Oprah decides to use their influence. Let us know what you think, and make sure you watch this other video too.